We're live.
Are we live?
We are live.
Well, oh, it says end stream. Okay. I guess we're Hey, everybody.
And we are still in Brussels,
Brussels.
in Belgium, and it has been raining all week. So we haven't seen as much as we wanted. But oh my gosh, the parks here are incredible
And very much used.
and very much used. Yes.
So I took a walk today and it was like, I mean, families, people, everybody's out in the parks. I guess, having sunshine and clear skies helps
Yes.
a lot.
Yes. Today.
So it was, but I had a good time. I even got to put my drone up.
Yep, he's got some drone footage, so we will be putting together edited video for y'all about our time in Belgium, because we are going to take some day trips next week and all of that. So we're very, very excited, right?
Oh, yeah.
We are excited because we have a special guest who has been watching us for a little bit now, and reached out. And when we heard his story and found out how long he has been abroad, y'all, because the thing about it is that it's really easy. We spend so much time on the how to move that we really don't take time to really consider what our lives are going to be like once
Right.
we have moved, right?
Right.
And for some, it's like once the honeymoon is over and life starts to settle in, some people get depressed, and it's like, womp womp, because life is still life, right? You're just in a different location. So unless you dramatically change how you do daily life.
Right.
And so I don't think that we spend enough time talking about, you know, how what does it look like after you have left the United States for a long period of time? We went to, and we'll share this with you as well. We went to an American barbecue restaurant that was also suggested by a viewer, Dooley's. So if you are in Brussels, you have to check out Dooley's.
Oh, definitely.
The barbecue was, y'all, is on point. They had fried chicken, they had cornbread, mac and cheese, the whole 9 yards. And so the owner of Dooley's, he also has been outside of the United States,
He's been
since the
out for a while.
early 2000s or something like
He's
that.
been out for a while.
Or maybe like 2013 or something like that. And you can tell by the way he talks that he has no clue what's going on in the United States, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
So
sometimes you gotta leave that behind.
yeah, sometimes you got to leave it behind. All right, so let's bring out our special guest. But first, hey y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting a little close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is a good thing.
Yes. So who is our special guest today?
Leo Whitlow.
Yes. Leo moved out of the country for love, y'all. So we're going to hear all the dish, well, everything that he's willing to share anyway, before I get too far down the road. But first, if you are new to our channel, then you might not know about back in 2018 or so, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy, y'all. Crazy. She ain't lying.
No, it was kind of pitiful. It was kind of pitiful for our age, especially. And but we got our financial act together, and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Y'all, if we can do it, you can do it too. And if you need help with that, all of the information is in the description below. We just had our group coaching call for Beyond the Bling. We meet every second Saturday of the month for our financial freedom course. Also comes with group coaching. So if you're interested in that, it is in the description below. And without further ado, let's
welcome Leo.
Yes. Hey, Leo. How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Good. Well, the smile is big.
I know. It's there.
So why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and let them know when you moved and why?
Okay, I moved here in 2005.
Okay.
And I moved here with my partner, who was European, and he wanted to come back to be with his family. So I came, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. All right.
19 years.
Wow.
19 years. And did you live in the Netherlands first and then here or just
No,
here?
just
Always
here,
in Belgium. Okay.
always in Belgium. Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
how's your French?
It's I struggle, but basic things I can do. I mean, I had to deal with lawyers in French, and that was, yeah,
Oh, well, that's huge.
Yeah.
yeah,
What did you
yeah.
have to deal with lawyers for?
Divorce.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
so that's the dish.
That's the dish. That's the
That is
tea.
the dish. And but you stayed.
Oh yeah.
Tell us why you
You,
stayed.
well, the thing is, and you're going to find this in a few years. You're going to go back to the States, and you're going to say, "Oh my God," you know, it's you. It's I don't know if it was always that way or if I come back and look at it in a different way, but it's different. And I'm
Tell us.
much more and I realized it when I went back to the States. I was speaking with a friend and I said, I gotta pack, I'm going home.
Mm, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And I, when we go to the States, I don't say we're going home.
No,
No.
I mean,
We say we're going to the States.
yeah. I mean,
that's
we
what I
own
say.
homes there.
Yeah,
Right,
but it's like we're going to the States.
right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. So I'd like to hear how many times have you been back in the past 19 years?
My mother's still alive, so I go back
Wow.
once a year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, well, we've done the same, though that was not the intent. That was not the intent, but my parents are still alive as well, and we own two properties there, so
Yeah,
necessity has made us go back.
that's it. But the thing is, after, if my mother goes before I do, I probably won't spend so much time there because there are
Yeah.
Mm,
places I want to visit. I want to see Greece. I want to go to other countries,
Hmm.
but I need to go back to the States.
Yeah.
right, right, right.
Yeah. So when did you start noticing that um, the states started to feel foreign? So if you've been going back every year, it's not like there's been big gaps in between.
No, no. I, I don't know. Someone told me, and I don't know if this is true, but after 7 years, it's difficult to go back. Now, I'm not sure if it was 7 years for me, if it was five, if it was 10, but after 19, oof, you know, this is home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the biggest changes or differences that you see when you go back? Because I don't think that yeah, so Laura was just asking what I was about to ask. Silea, what was the biggest shock that you experienced about coming back to the States?
The morbid obesity.
Oh,
I mean, if you look around here and you've walked around, you don't see people on scooters because they're too obese. People are
No.
biking, everyone's walking,
Running.
they're, I mean, you look around tomorrow, you'll see nothing like that.
oh, I already noticed because I'm feeling fat here. But then we don't see that a lot in Lisbon either.
In
I mean, we see
Lisbon, no.
chubby,
Mhm.
but not morbidly obese, right?
But the
Like
majority is
the much
thin
the
and
or on the thinner
on the
side.
thinner side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of walking. Not as much running where we live because of the
The
hills,
hills, yeah, yeah.
but down on the riverfront, yes, right.
And also the diet. I mean, a lot of fast food, and you don't, it's more now than there used to be. When I was here, there was no McDonald's, or we had Quick, but people cooked at home,
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
the diets are different.
it is very different.
There is fast food in Lisbon,
Yeah.
but not like the States. Like, it's not on every
No,
corner, it's
no.
Yeah, just thrown in your face.
yeah, the majority of the eating establishments are mom and pop,
Uh-huh. Well,
and,
the thing,
go ahead.
the thing here is fast food is expensive.
Yeah,
Right? It's expensive there too, compared to what it is in
Really?
the States. Yeah, so
Yeah.
once in a while, I get a craving for a Taco Bell taco,
Okay.
and I have to go all the way to the mall, to the only Taco Bell that I know, and, 2 Taco Supremes are like €7 or something,
Okay. I
and
don't think
and
we have a Taco Bell.
see? And we
a
can go
taco what?
Exactly.
but for the same €7, we can go to La Macarita, the taco spot down in downtown Lisbon, and get 3 tacos and a mini beer for €7.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And during happy hour, which is like I think 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock is their happy hour,
Yeah.
is $1 taco, €1 tacos.
Wow.
Come on now.
We don't we don't have Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean, La Macarita is a real Mexican spot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
So
Okay.
yeah. So you can get for €7, you can get the 3 tacos and a beer, whereas the Taco Bell, it's €7 just for 2 little taco supremes, which is not real Mexican food, but
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
So yeah, yeah. It's the subtle things that you don't realize, right?
Yeah.
Like, we cook a lot more
Yeah.
he, here than we did there. Um,
Mhm.
the notion of buying something that's partially prepared and then
Yeah.
doctoring it up is what
Yeah.
I is what I did a lot in the States. A lot of times because I was working, right?
Mhm.
So I didn't have time to cook.
Right.
And so I think that's a thing that is a lot different, because there's less processed food here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That you're going to be pretty much cooking from scratch.
Yes.
I tease all the time, like Jiffy cornbread. You remember Jiffy and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Betty
yeah, yeah.
Crocker, or
Sure.
that's not a thing.
Yep.
That is not a thing. As a matter of fact, I don't really think I've seen boxed cake, like the cake mix.
Yeah, I remember
Like
those.
deluxe or whatever it used to be.
Yeah,
Wasn't it
well, Betty Crocker and all
Betty
of those is what we
Crocker?
Yeah.
have in the States, but like whatever, like Portuguese version. I mean, they
Yeah.
have cake, so I see them in the
Yeah, of
bakeries,
course.
right?
Yeah.
I never. Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen boxed cake.
But you don't see so much processed food. And
Right.
and for example, here, every day there's an outdoor market, food market. So you can go buy a produce, fresh produce. I was there this
Oh,
morning. And
where
and
is
so
it?
you everywhere, everywhere. Every day there's a different one. To- You know,
Okay.
in my neighborhood it's on Thursday, but I went to downtown to L'Abattoir, and it's on Sunday and Saturday. And so every day there's a different market. You can probably Google it and find it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna Google it.
Now, you have to know, you should know this. Tomorrow there's a strike. You know that?
No.
Transportation strike.
Really?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We don't have the app.
No, we don't. We don't have the app.
No,
City
no
Mapper might have told us.
buses, trams, metro. Yeah,
Nada. So tomorrow's a
yeah.
walking day.
Tomorrow is a walking day.
Okay, good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. And so they don't do strikes like that in Lisbon. They're
Oh,
so
really?
polite with their strikes. They're
Yeah,
so
they're more
polite.
polite
Oh,
with their strikes.
They coordinate it so it's never nothing.
oh,
You
okay.
always have some form. So you know, the ferries will go on strike, but then everything else will be open. or when the trains
Oh,
go on
wow.
strike, it's just like reduced time. So if it used to travel every 20 minutes, it may travel
Every
like
couple hours.
maybe every hour during rush hour and then not again until the next rush hour.
No,
Yeah.
here we have strikes. I mean, strikes are like a national thing. I mean, there's a transportation strike, there's a farmers strike, and and I live pretty close to the Belgian Parliament. So in anything in Europe, there's a strike is right here. You know,
Okay.
because we're the Washington D.C. of Europe.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I know we're in walking distance from the EU
Okay.
offices and stuff. But we saw them as the Uber driver was bringing us here. He pointed them out like he was a tour guide.
Okay.
But
I thought we were pretty close to them the other day when we were walking coming back.
we were close to one of the buildings, but those weren't the same building. I don't know. I don't know. I have to
I
look.
thought that we were
There's
really
a
But
lot
close
of
to them.
European buildings here. I mean,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I live actually live close to one right here. You know.
Which one are you close to?
Oh well, I mean, it's all the same EU, commission buildings. There are like
Right.
a few of them around.
Oh, okay. So
Then
that's
there's the
what we
European
saw.
Parliament. Yeah, there are a few.
Okay. We saw the EU Commission. That it
Right.
said EU Commission
Yeah,
on the
commissions.
yeah,
Really? Okay.
where we were walking. So let's see who is in the audience. Hey
Well, I think
CK, she
I
was really here really early. Go ahead. Go ahead, Leo.
okay. No, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
Let's go ahead.
Okay. We're gonna say hello to Allison.
Hey, Allison.
And
Hello.
Shonora, I
Sonora.
know you guys probably thought we forgot about you. We didn't forget
We didn't
about
forget
you.
about you.
Hey,
Hey,
Vicky.
Vicky.
Good to see you in the audience. Action VJ, based on
Action
the pics Rick
VJ.
posted on Facebook, Belgium is beautiful. Yes, hit the like
It is
button to
true.
learn more
It
about
is.
living there. Yeah, it is. It is a beautiful city. It's a very clean city.
Hey, Vanessa.
So, hey, Vanessa, good to see you. I
Professor.
hadn't heard anything about it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Professor LCH is in the house. Ballerina is in the house. Greta.
Hey, Greta.
2 days in a
I
row.
know.
2 days in a row. Hey, Michelle.
Michelle.
Hello, everyone. Looking forward to this conversation. Great.
Karen
Karen
in
Louise.
the house.
Can't wait to get started on the discussion. Peace and blessings from California. Is it hot there? I know it was really, really hot. Who was I talking to? It's somebody in the States. Hey, Tanya. Hello, OBU family.
Hey.
I love it. Yay, it's time. CK says, yay, it's time. Because CK was here early. She was here early. Hey, Meriton. Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
How is life in Lisboa? I kind of do miss home. I especially miss the food. I really do.
Is it warm there? Somebody said it was hot in Lisboa.
Wait a minute. Somebody shot at who again?
Who? What?
Not 45. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Killer Queen. And Yakota is in the house. Jess, Nichelle. We'll go ahead and ask this question right now. I know that you found one Black person in Belgium.
No, we found a couple.
Is there a community of Black folks? And I guess you mean English-speaking Black folks, CK. Tell us about the community that you have here.
Well, the community is kind of dispersed. I mean, I have friends who are Black, and I have a Black colleague, American, because there are a lot of British.
Okay, that's why I say just English speaking, just so
right. Yeah, there's a community here, but I mean, again, it's for Americans in Europe. There aren't so many Americans because it's difficult with the visa and to be able to stay here, as you probably know, all the paperwork you have to go through. Oh yeah. And so it's difficult for Americans to come here. And plus, you have to make sure that you have enough money and jump through a whole, FBI checks and blah, blah, blah. It's difficult. So I know of three, wait, four other Black Americans here. But
wow.
it,
Wow. And a young lady who lives in Mexico now, she used to live here, but I think she was here with a job.
Okay.
And then, interestingly enough, the gentleman who owns Dooley's, he's married to a European,
Okay.
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
she's Finnish,
Yeah,
actually.
she's from Finland.
Okay.
And but that's part of the EU, so right, so they get to
Yep.
basically live wherever,
Right.
and chose here,
Yeah.
which is probably warmer.
Oh yeah.
I
I
couldn't
think
do
I think
Nordic.
of Portugal all the time.
I bet you do. I
Yeah,
bet you
you've been.
do.
The weather here is not something you want to. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. So I mean, some people like winter weather, and
Yeah.
when I was I was talking to my doctor on Friday, and she's like, "Oh, it's hot here." And she's in
Yeah, that's
Lisbon.
who said that.
Yeah, she said it was hot in Lisbon. Hey, Jazzy D, Pinky, Kimberly, good to see you guys in the chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. But if you are not, and I say, this could be one of those places, especially for digital nomads, if you want to just come here for a month or 2 or 3 or something like that, if you want to do this immigration thing, you don't have to jump through some hoops. I think Mexico is probably the easiest that I've heard of, with the least amount of hoops, and probably because they just are so close to the United States. It might be harder for other folks from other countries, but they're so close to the United States. They recognize all of our documents. We don't have to get them
Right.
apostilled and all of this
Oh,
other
yeah. Oh my
nonsense.
God.
Yeah. Right. Right. So you said something about work, Leo. Are you still working?
I'm working part-time.
Okay.
I'm working. Well, but I'm semi-retired. I got my Belgian retirement,
Mhm.
and I got my
Okay.
Social Security.
Okay. So you
So
get Belgium Social Security and United States Social
U.S.
Security.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so that doesn't suck.
No.
That that does not suck at all. Not
Not
at
at all.
all. So what do you do part
Well, I'm
time?
teaching English.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Bec-
Okay, we asked that
So
question.
when I came here, I retrained so I could teach English, which I really like.
So really, so now do you teach
Yeah.
it in person
Yep.
or online? You teach it in
No, in person.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like
But
teaching.
yeah. But it gets you to. I mean, I meet people from different countries, different backgrounds. So I learn a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like when we go to the store and stuff, and I'm giving people like greetings and stuff in Portuguese.
Uh-huh.
It is so weird. It's like, instead of saying merci, I might say obrigado. And then it's like, oh,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Your brain just defaults. You
It
know
just
you're not supposed to be
defaults.
speaking English, but after that, it's like, okay, let's see what comes out.
Yeah,
And it just comes out. It's
absolutely.
like, oops.
Yeah. Like when I go to a restaurant, I just sit down and I just start speaking to them in French. And I was at an Indian restaurant, and
Oh.
so I started speaking to them in French because that's what I do everywhere. And he said, "Do you speak English?" I said, "Oh yeah, I love that.
Every day. Yes, I can. No
I can do that."
problem. Yeah. And for the most part, that is true in Portugal too. The Southeast Asians tend to prefer English. But now,
Yeah.
if they're from Macau, which I don't know if that's considered Southeast Asia, it just might be considered Asia. They speak Portuguese because that was a former colony.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
little did I know, because they don't teach us crap in the United States about anything
That
outside of the
that
United
too.
States.
That too.
If you want a cake, you go to a bakery. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I have not seen any boxed stuff. So has he resided in Belgium since he left the USA? So that's yes, right? CK.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I mean, Leo.
Yep, yep.
um, okay. Another question. Is there a noticeable difference in
Taste of fruit
the
and
taste of fruits and
vegetables.
vegetables in Belgium?
Well, you have to realize that Belgium is a northern country and is quite cold. And so we don't get like tomatoes, fresh fruit, like you do in Portugal.
Yeah.
So everything we get things that are imported, and so the taste is not so good. Yeah,
I noticed that. When
yeah,
I saw a Chiquita banana, I was like, Chiquita?
uh-huh,
What?
yeah, no,
What? Does this
yeah.
gonna have a bunch of pesticides and crap on it? What is this?
No, because like our stuff is mostly imported, Italy, Spain, probably Portugal, every other place because we our summers are very short.
Okay.
So if you want to grow a tomato, good luck.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. I would say your fall, what I'm
Mhm.
experiencing now, is our winter.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yes.
wow. Come
Yeah.
back, come back in
The
December.
coolness of the
Yeah,
rain.
no, no. So, right?
Yeah.
Because it can rain, but it doesn't have to be so cold.
Yeah, but it gets chilly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like winter,
Really? Okay.
and I had on like 3 layers. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, my stepmother, who the audience knows, and because she's been on about talking about investing, she used to be the head of children's programming at
Okay.
NBC way back in the day, and was the
Wow.
one who brought the Smurfs to the United
Oh,
States. And so, y'all know if you watched
oh,
last
yeah.
week that the Smurfs come from Belgium.
Yep.
And so she sent me a picture of her way back in the day with the big 1980s hair.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
fun. It was
and
fun.
and the founder and the creator of the Smurfs and everything. But she used to have to come here a couple of times a year, and often in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And when I told her I was coming here, she's like, "Ooh, when are you going?" And I said, I said September. She says, "Okay, it should be okay." She said, "But oh, you do not want to go there in the winter."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
It's humid and it's cold and windy.
Okay.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. And so you can walk outside, you can put on as many layers as you want. That wind will pick up and it'll blow you over. I mean,
Oh, like
Wow.
Chicago.
I am not kidding. Yeah. But it's
Okay.
cold, very cold, you know.
Hmm.
So because it's low, it's the part of the lowlands, so it's flatter. And so when the wind comes through, it takes you with it.
There's just nothing to stop it. So that's
Right.
more like Minnesota. That sounds like Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota cold.
Yeah, yeah. But we don't get so much snow though.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just the cold part. Just the cold.
Yeah, just the cold.
So how does exercise impact your life now? Do you exercise more now than you did in the States?
Well, the thing is, in the States, I drove my car every. Here, I walk everywhere,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know. And so I don't go to the gym, the fitness or anything. I I would walk 15 minutes to work, walk 50 minutes back. I want to go shopping, I walk and carry my caddy and buy what I need and I walk back. No
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. Um, the the owner of Dooley's restaurant drove us home yesterday evening, which was
Okay.
so sweet.
Yeah, that was nice of him.
And he's got a truck. He's got a pickup
We
truck.
closed him down.
Yeah, we closed him
And
down.
then we hung out for a couple more hours
Yeah.
together because he wouldn't let us go.
Yeah. He's like, "Do you want dessert?"
He would not let us
He's like,
go.
and his wife was like, he hasn't spoken to Americans in so long. he was, getting his injection of Americanism, I guess. So which leads, CK's got a lot of questions. How did you become a part of the local community with local people versus expats? Yeah.
Because I work with local people. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing because even our friend Tawana, who lives in Lisbon, she has her own company, but she uses shared workspace.
Yeah.
And so because she's in the shared workspace with other Portuguese people and other people from other places as well, some digital nomads as well, but she has a lot more Portuguese friends than most of the other American immigrants that I know. And so that does help.
It does help.
Yeah. So CK, I mean, to me, like, I think if you're not working, but one way is, or you're working for yourself, is to hang out in the shared workspaces, like get one of those cards where you have, so many sessions at a shared workspace, or you can just get a monthly pass to the shared workspace. And that's a great way to meet people without having to work for somebody.
Yeah. And there are a lot of groups here. As you can see, this is very multicultural, multilingual,
Yes.
multi-ethnic. I mean, it's like, my neighborhood, I walk outside, I live in a neighborhood that's mostly, um, let's see, Turkish, Moroccan, there's some Congolese, so I walk out, I hear all these different languages.
Languages,
Yeah.
yeah, it is pretty cool. And just because he says he's only knows 4 other Black uh, English speaker Americans
Mhm.
here, there's a lot of Black folks here, y'all.
There is.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
Black
a
folks.
lot
They're
of,
just not
oh,
American. They're just not English
right.
speakers.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
Congolese. Bec-
so
bec-
yeah,
yeah.
for obvious
There-
reasons.
Yeah, if you go to Matange, there's, it's the Congolese area, and it's really interesting because it used to be a very kind of drug infested area,
No,
but
okay.
yeah, it used to be, but now it is so nice that you could not afford to live there. I mean,
Wow.
oh yeah. I mean, you say you live in Matange, people say, wow, okay.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. I
because
don't know of any areas that are obviously drug infested in
And Lisbon.
Portugal.
Well, we down the hill from where we were, that was a big drug area.
What area?
Going down towards the metro. It's in Pena de France.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, I had heard, oh, this used to be really
Oh,
bad.
used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
yeah,
used to be.
I'm
Not
talking about
now.
now.
No.
you know,
Not now. Not now.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. So I want to know, when you go back to the States, do the pharma commercials bother you? Do you watch
oh my
TV? Do you
God,
know?
oh my God. I was sitting with a friend, and because I'm staying with this friend, and I was saying, do you, this is normal to you? He said, what? I said, every commercial is about, if do you have this? Do you have this? And I felt like I had it. You know,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I must, I must have this.
It
Every
truly,
commercial.
every commercial, and I feel like it feels like doomsday. It feels
I
like
think every,
doomsday.
I think everyone's on Prozac or something. And there are
Yeah.
diseases I never heard of.
Oh yeah.
They're making
Oh
stuff
yeah.
up.
They were
Do you
making
have
some
itchy
diseases up.
eye? Do you have itchy eyebrows? You know, does your neck twitch? You may have.
Uh, Yeah, everything that this, you might have this, you might have that. And I thought, geez, I might have it.
Yeah. And everything you take, it might help you before it kills you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's probably gonna kill you
Yeah.
somewhere down the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. And
And
then
the medication.
the cost of medication.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's
it
crazy.
is.
And they have this long list of uh, side effects,
Hmm.
just one after the other. Now, tell me something else. When we go back, what I feel is like a low level of rage that's just right underneath the surface. Do you feel that when you go back?
Yes. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger.
Do your friends notice it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, actually, that's not true. I have a one friend who's also Canadian. He's has dual citizenship. One of his parents is Canadian, and he's in the process of going back to Canada. He said, "I'm out of
Yeah.
here."
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
So, and is it because of the political stuff or just the mood in the country
Well,
or
I
both?
think all of it. I think all of it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's very caustic there.
it really is. It really is. Okay, so we asked this question. We asked this question. I'm just going to put this up. Who's going to the Move to Portugal Summit? It was awesome last year. I will be there. Information is low. And last time I checked, we only had like 5 tickets left for the early bird. So if you want that early bird price, there's only 5 tickets left, y'all. Do not hesitate because then the price goes up. We've got to pay for that expensive platform that we have it on.
And Portugal is beautiful.
It is beautiful. What kind of visa do you have? And what kind of visa did you start with? Well, that's a good question.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, um, so I had so when I got here, I had a 6 month. Well, I didn't need a visa
Okay.
because I was married to a European.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
then I had this, yeah. So then I had a 6 month card, and then after the 6 month card, I could apply for a 1 year card. And then after the 1 year card, I could apply for a family card, which is
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
After that, after the 5 years, I could apply for citizenship.
Okay.
And so
So after those 5 years, so it was like 8 years all in?
7,
7 years. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And so now you have dual citizenship?
yes,
So, and okay. Um, that's first of all, that's our goal.
yeah, do it,
That is,
do it.
yeah, that is definitely
Hopefully
our goal.
nothing changes crazy.
That's why I said it's a
Yeah.
goal because we'll see what geopolitically what happens.
Yeah,
Which is why we also have residency in Mexico because
you do. Okay.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, we got
Wow.
permanent
We have
residency.
permanent residency in Mexico.
Yeah,
Okay.
choices.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it used to be you needed one passport, but now if you can have two or three,
Oh
it,
yeah.
it gives you options.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. So yeah, CK. And did you have to take a language test?
I had to write an essay. Uh, the, the essay that I wrote was about why I wanted to be Belgian.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so I had to write this essay, and I was just getting so political, you know. And my ex said, "You can't write that," and I said,
Right. I was
"I
like, wow.
I sure am."
Okay, so you were still married at the time
Yes, I
when you
was. Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
And well, they said yes, obviously.
I got my passport downstairs. I can get it. I can show it to you.
Right, right. They said yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so what were you saying politically? Do you mind sharing?
Well, I was saying how, as a gay person, how difficult it was to be in the States,
Mm,
and
Okay.
how I felt much freer here.
okay.
Um, and also as a black person, I feel much freer here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wrote all this stuff, and it's true.
Right? And it's your truth, first of all.
It is. It is.
And it says something good about what they have created
Right.
Right.
after, right? Like at this point in their history.
Right.
And and we know that as far as we've come in the United States, there are, political folks trying to take us backwards
Yep.
as far as that's concerned and trying to undo all of the progress that we've made.
Yeah.
um you know I was just listening to this guy say, why are they always up in everybody's business? If you're against abortion, don't get one.
Absolutely.
if you're against it, he called it gay marriage because it's funnier. It's funnier that way when you say it that way. When you say, if you don't like gay marriage, don't get gay married. But why you got to be all up in my business,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
You know, it just does not make sense.
It does not make
Um,
sense.
you know, just all up. Like next thing, you know, they're going to be tracking women's menstrual cycles or whatever. It's
They
just,
will
Well,
be.
that might come. That
you
might
know,
come.
it is. It's sounding very Handmaiden's Tale, or is that the name of the book? The
Maiden's
movies too.
Tale.
Yeah, Handmaid.
Yeah,
Just
and the
dystopian.
gun and the gun violence there.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
God, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's like every week or every 2 weeks, someone's getting shot up.
That we hear about.
That we hear about,
We,
because I happened to be listening to one of my favorite congresswomen, Jasmine Crockett,
oh
and
my, yes.
she
Yeah.
and she was saying that they had just had a shooting in Texas, and this is after Georgia.
I
Thoughts
can't
and
keep up.
prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and
Yeah,
prayers. We got those
yeah,
all
that's
day
it.
long, right? We got
Thoughts
those
and
all
prayers.
day long. And so, how does it feel? Like, have has your health improved? Blood pressure gone down from the lack of stress of just dealing with, not having to deal with hate? I mean,
You know,
there's always going to be hateful people out there.
mhm,
But the question is it in the air? Is it, more than just the oddball out there, right? Um, and because in the States, I mean, heck, Colorado used to be the hate state,
mm,
the stuff that they were doing, and especially
yeah,
to members of the LGBTQ
yeah,
community. So,
yeah.
no, he's looking up gun laws in Belgium.
I never looked at it, and I always look at that to see what the gun was.
Yeah, they're
What
prohibited.
yeah, yeah.
So is it hard to get a gun? Do people have guns? Does anybody talk about guns
No,
here?
no, no, not at all. I asked someone about it, and apparently, if you are a hunter, you can
Right.
get a license for a gun for hunting. But there are very, very strict laws. You have
Yeah.
to have the gun in a safe. The bullets have to be locked in a separate place, and the police can come to your door any moment to check.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. They could
Yeah,
do a random
they do.
check, huh?
They do a random check.
Like a drug
Now,
test, like, okay, pee in the cup.
well, that's what I was
Well,
told.
that's true.
So people don't want to have a gun because they don't want a police at their door at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Says most people are prohibited from owning or using automatic firearms. They are illegal per se. The armed forces, of course, the police, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
But yeah, and I think Portugal is very, very similar.
yeah.
But there was an armed robbery about a week before we came here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is the first we've ever heard of since we've been there. So, and Leo, you should have heard people in the chat. They acted like it was a mass murder, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they was comparing.
they were like, "Oh, maybe I'm gonna get some more locks on my doors, and this is that and the other." And I'm like, this was happening every minute in the States, and you weren't saying
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Every minute. Even if we had one per year, but we've literally been there for 2.5 years. You count the scouting trip, and this is the first one we've ever heard of
Yeah.
in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
There's going to be bad guys everywhere, right? And I love what Delia says, it's the perception of safety, because, there's crazies everywhere.
Yeah.
There's crazies here, there's crazies in Lisbon, in Portugal, but they don't have easy access to guns.
No. No.
You
No. No.
can't go into Walmart and pick up some milk and a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could in the United States, you could buy milk in a gun. But it was funny because we were discussing a couple of weeks ago how when we watched the movies and they always show the spy movies in Europe and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they're killing everybody and they're shooting automatic weapons all over the place, and people are
Ducking and dodging.
ducking and dodging in the
Right.
cafes. It's like, it's not like that.
It would never
Yeah.
happen.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it's so funny to go back, and even the James Bond movies and stuff like that. Now that we live here and we see how America portrays Europe, as
Yeah.
if you could get away with having a car chase. First of all, up and down these little narrow streets now, of course, Avenue Louise is big, but in the neighborhoods and stuff, those little narrow streets and all of that, and
Yeah.
these people are racing around, and there's no other cars around,
And the police takes forever to get there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I remember that Europe was going through an era in the earlier 2000s and kind of mid 2000s of bomb attacks, right, from terrorists,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
right, like in the subways and the this and that.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're not
No,
talking
that's
about political mercenaries. What we're talking about is some greedy guys who stole something and somebody's after them or whatever have you, right? And they're sitting there like, having car chases and all of this
right.
stuff and shooting
No.
and cars rolling and blowing up and stuff. Yeah, we see. And there was one that took place in Lisbon,
Oh yeah.
right? And we're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and I looked at the
Really?
yeah.
I can't remember
was
what movie
like-
it was.
Oh God, who was in it?
On those
The lady
streets
that plays-
there.
Exactly.
The lady that plays, she played Wonder Woman. She was one of the main characters. I
Yeah.
can't remember her name now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was one of the main characters. And I was looking at different places that they were shooting where they showed the shots being seen. I was like, okay,
I know where that is.
is. I know where that is, but you can't drive a van through there.
It's not what?
No.
Like, what are you
You
doing?
can't drive a van through there.
Little narrow
No.
streets. And then
Yeah.
turny and then the hills and the this
I
and the that.
know. I've been to Lisbon.
Right?
Oh yeah.
There's just no way. And so, CK, we did talk about the weather. Like I said, it's fall. I mean, this is not even technically fall yet, is it?
No, not yet. Next week.
Next week is supposed to be sunny.
Yeah, it'll be.
I'm reading.
Yeah, at
But
least.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's weather, so that changes.
Yeah, it did definitely
Yeah. Yeah.
change on a whim. But this what I felt this week or this past week with the rain and this and that,
Yeah, it was cool.
that felt like Lisbon winter, dead winter.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
I
amazing.
mean, today was the first day I could take my drone out and fly it.
Okay.
Because
No rain.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I was looking forward to next week, tomorrow and beyond, to
Yeah.
be able to fly more.
Yeah. It's supposed to be nice.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna go to
Today was-
Bruges.
Oh, Bruges is beautiful.
Tell us about it.
Well, they call it what do they call it? The Venice of the North. I mean, it was bombed out actually, and so you see the facades. The facades are old, but the buildings themselves have been redone.
Okay.
France
But it's-
bombed
but
them?
Yeah, but it's a beautiful little city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's lovely there.
Good. Well, we're looking
Yeah,
forward to that. So Bruges and Ghent.
Ghent,
Is
yeah,
that how
that's
you
a nice
is
city
that how you
too.
pronounce it?
Yeah, Ghent. Well,
Okay.
yeah, depends on Ghent.
Depends on who's
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah, because the French say Ghent. So,
Really?
yeah,
Ghent.
so
Okay.
yeah, every city here has two names.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you have the French name and you have the Flemish name.
The Flemish.
Okay.
Yeah. And we saw the little statue down in the old town of the little boy
Monica
peeing.
Piss.
Yep.
Monica Piss.
Yeah, that tripped me out.
Speaking about the bombs,
Isn't that the silliest thing you've ever seen?
Oh my
it
God.
really truly is. And then all the outfits for it,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
serious. We were
Oh,
down
yeah.
there. We walked by there. We could have gone down there when we were the first time we tried to get to Dooley's and they were closed. And then we
Okay.
walked by the way back,
Mm.
right? Was that the day? I don't know. And I wanted to go down there to see what he was wearing, but I'm like, I'm not wearing that. Let's get home. Let's get home.
Yeah, we
So,
did go down there.
yeah, did you retire from the USA before moving abroad? So, yeah, I guess technically, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I retired here.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you first got here, what were you doing?
Well, I was not allowed to work first.
Okay.
So then I started working after a year, I think.
Okay.
So then I've
Okay.
been working ever since.
Okay. And were you teaching English back in those days too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Whitlow mentioned he works with another Black American. Does he work for a U.S. company or Belgium?
No,
Oh,
Belgium.
okay. And then do you participate in volunteering activities?
I don't have that time.
What are you doing?
I don't have I
You
don't
say
have the
you
time to
only
do my
teach
laundry.
part-time now. You don't have
Yes,
time to do your laundry.
I'm
So are you out in them streets?
I was this morning.
So if you so how many days a week do you teach?
5 days a week, every day.
Oh, you said so. How is that part time?
Well, see, I'm supposed to be teaching half-time, but like in the summertime, everyone's gone. And so I'm
Okay.
taking extra work.
Oh, I see. I see. Um, so once they come back, I mean, August is over. I thought most people
Mhm.
came back after August.
No,
Well, people
August
are
is
coming back
pretty
now.
long. Now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he just reopened his restaurant on Tuesday.
Yeah, he said I'll be back in
Oh yeah,
September.
Um,
yeah,
and our grocer took all of August off, of course. You know, I didn't have my inexpensive fruits and vegetables right around the corner anymore. I mean, not
right.
even a corner, like right 3 doors down.
Wow.
And yeah, there's fruitarias like nobody's business.
Oh,
I'd say every
Yeah, here too.
every block
every
have,
2, 3 doors.
you know.
Yeah, here too.
And so and I don't know if I told the audience that he gave me a hug. He gave me a hug when he saw me. I was like, "Welcome back."
Yeah, she told me that. I said, Grumpy? Grumpy gave you a hug?
So yeah, cost of living. We'll get to that. Hey,
Yeah.
Love Park Connection. Hey, tennis coaches, we see you. Why the anger when returning to the USA? What's that about? Um, what do you mean, CK? Um, so we got citizenship. We answered that one. I'm trying to get all of these questions started, you guys. Um, so I'm not. So I think what we were saying, CK, is that they're in America. No, the essay that you wrote was in French, right, for citizenship.
What's that?
Yeah, the essay that you had to write for citizenship, that was all in French, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but you didn't have to take a speaking test.
Well, I no, had to go to the commune and ask for citizenship and speak with the people there. So I didn't have to
Okay,
do it. Yeah,
but no test.
no.
There is so in Portugal, we're going to answer these questions and then call it. In Portugal, you have to take a test. Now, I don't know if it's speaking or written, but if you take the government sponsored classes, which are free,
Right.
and pass
Mhm.
that test, it's just a level A2. Then you don't have to take the test for citizenship.
Same here now.
Okay.
It's changed now. You have to take a
Hmm.
citizenship test. But it's like in the US, government, constitution, blah, blah, history. And so you have to take a test. And I don't know how long it is, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. But so you have to take a test and pass, take a class and pass the test. But
Okay.
that's now.
Yeah, interesting. Like in the States.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard that for Portugal,
Hmm.
so I'm
Okay.
glad. And most Americans could not pass that test,
Right. No,
the
not at all.
citizenship test.
No,
And you know,
no.
these kids and young people and some older people too. It's like, what were you sleeping through civics class? What happened?
Yeah.
You know, like anybody who's 50 and over should have had civics. I mean, they didn't
Yep.
start cutting that out until like the 90s and stuff, and
Yeah.
early 2000s. But y'all don't know this stuff. How did you get to be this age and you don't know basic civics?
I know.
Um,
I know.
so Lena asked, were you able to locate many apartments with AC and heat?
Air conditioning is not needed here, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
the apartment that we are in, actually, y'all, has central air and heat.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's got a thermostat that will take it down to 19. So,
Well,
um,
19 is not, well, that's not really air code, no? It's,
well, I know it's usually set on 72, and that's too cold for
I do-
me. And 72 is what they turn on the AC in government buildings to 72.
okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
to me, that's cool enough. But in any event, so yeah, I don't think people could survive, Rita, out here with no heat. They didn't have heat in the apartments in Portugal because back in the day you didn't need it,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like
Um,
here with air conditioning, we don't need it. We might have a fan, but
yeah,
or
as
open a
the as the
window.
as the planet changes, it'll be interesting to see what
That's
happens with
true.
that. You
Yeah.
know, how would you compare the cost of living and taxes to other popular European countries?
I can't tell because I've not lived in any other European countries, but the taxes are pretty high. But um, the medical is covered. I can go to the doctor tomorrow and I pay 20 euro. You know, I can go to the pharmacist and get medicine and I pay like, 3, 4 euro. I mean, very minimal
Hmm.
payment. And so I don't mind paying higher taxes. When I was in the States, I think I was paying like $400 a month or something for health care, and I could see the doctor once a year, you know,
Yeah,
and so I'm okay with it.
yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, you haven't lived in America since Obamacare.
No, I'm not.
So
No.
now, because a physical is preventative. You can go more than once a year. But yeah,
You
back in the
can.
day,
Yep.
it's once a
Hmm.
year. You know,
Mhm.
um, and so Ty, for first of all, welcome. Seems like a new
I
name.
know it does.
And so in our travels, this is the most expensive city. Now we'll see when we get to Bruges. I heard is less expensive.
Yeah.
Ghent, whatever,
Well,
whichever way you want to pronounce it. I heard is less expensive. Antwerp, I heard is less expensive. Brussels, being the Washington D.C. of Europe, is
mhm.
probably one reason. Um, they have to import their fruits and vegetables. They're more
Yeah.
expensive. Like, I mean, you can just go down the street and pick some oranges off the tree at the bus stop in Lisbon, right?
Wow.
Like,
Okay. We don't have
it,
that here.
there, you really don't have to go hungry because those fruit trees are everywhere, and
Yeah.
it seems like there's
Wow.
oranges on the ground. So maybe not in the dead of
No,
winter, like for
not
two
in
or
dead
3 months,
winter.
but for the most part, it seems like they're there year round, to the point where the oranges are like falling on the ground and the birds are
Oh
like
my,
pecking at them and stuff, and they're just everywhere. Yeah, like that,
wow.
like that.
Yeah, it's not like that here.
No, no. But we've been to England.
Mhm.
Um, we've been to
Expensive there
Italy.
too.
It is,
Yes.
but I'd say here's still more expensive.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I remember when we went to dinner in London and you got that bottle of wine, that whole bill wasn't that expensive. I didn't look at it and go, huh? But we
Mhm.
haven't gotten out of a restaurant here for less than 50,
No.
No.
right?
Yeah.
And like the Brazilian restaurant down the street from us that we like to go to, we'll order, you know, 2 drinks and alcoholic drinks, and
Mhm.
maybe I usually bring my water with me, so because you do have to pay for water at a lot of places
Here
here, right?
too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I usually bring my water with me, but so order 2 drinks and 2 entrees. You
Uh-huh.
know, meat, beans, rice, veggies. Ugh, I love Brazilian food,
Yeah.
and
Me too.
the whole bill will be like €26.
That wouldn't be
I
bad
know.
at all.
Yeah.
You know, and so London might seem expensive after Portugal, but even when we were there, when we were in Manchester, I wasn't like, when we went in the grocery store, I wasn't like,
Yeah,
what
it
the
wasn't
heck?
shocking.
Yeah.
Not like here. Um,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Italy, I don't remember paying these kind of restaurant prices, even in the tourist areas. Now, this was quite a while ago, but still. Um, in Spain is more expensive. Well, at least Barcelona and Girona are more expensive
Oh
than
yeah. Yeah.
Lisbon,
Yeah.
but not as expensive as here.
No.
So I'd say this is the most expensive European city that we've been to so far, Ty.
Yeah. It is
And
expensive.
the taxes in Western Europe are probably pretty similar in most of the countries for
Probably.
citizens.
Mhm.
Some like, Portugal had the NHR for immigrants. They got rid of it for the most part, unless you're STEM. So that's gone. But now I think um, Spain still has some kind of non-habitual residence tax status where you get a break for the first however many years.
Mm.
But by and large, you're gonna be paying taxes here. But unlike the United States, and you just get so much more for your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
You just get so
You
much
know.
more.
And
So,
I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah, I complain about it. Like I complain about everything. But I. But when I go to the doctor and so the way it works here is maybe it's the same there. You pay the doctor maybe 40 or 60 euro, depending on what for what. And then you take the bill to a mutual, which is like an insurance, and they give you money to pay that bill. So like I will pay 60 and they'll give me put 30. So I went to the doctor for 30 euro. So
right,
I had to
right.
have an AKG for my heart. So they had to look at my heart. And so then and at the end of it, it was like, it was 60 euro.
Mm.
Hmm.
And the mutual paid 40. So I got it for 20 euro.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I, wa- I don't know what that would cost in the States. I have no idea.
thousands.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I when we first moved to Portugal to Lisbon, and I went for my yearly physical checkup, and I had an EKG,
Hmm.
and I was like,
It's compulsory.
I was like, I asked my doctor, I said, "Did you hear or see something that wasn't right?" And she said, "No." And she said, "It's just part of your physical." It's like I've never had that in the U.S.
No, 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 no.
Never.
And
No.
do you remember how much it cost?
My yearly physical, I want to say I might have paid 20 euro.
Hmm.
Yeah, like maybe 20 euro.
Hmm.
The EKG before it without insurance is €150.
Without insurance. Okay. Mhm.
We have
But
we we
still,
we have private insurance, but yeah, like, yeah, right, like
yeah,
€150.
yeah.
So I think I'm gonna take. It's actually less expensive. I think for next year I'm going to take my private insurance plan down to the next level, because to me I just need it for catastrophes.
Okay.
right? Because everything else is so affordable that
Yeah.
like if I'm keeping my money in the bank or in, in high yield
Investment,
savings accounts or
right?
something like that, I probably would end up with more money at the end of the day
Mhm.
instead of paying those higher premiums.
Definitely something to look at.
I'm going to definitely look at it. And it's
Mhm.
and still, you said you were paying $400 a month back in the day in the States,
Mhm.
right? So that's
Yeah.
$4,800 a year back in the early or mid 2000s or the last decade, right?
Right.
Heck, 2 decades ago now. And
Yeah.
we pay $2,000 a year
Yeah.
for both of us.
Yeah.
So we're paying 50% less than you for two people
Hmm.
20 years later.
Yeah. And you can go to the doctor whenever you have a cough. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't experienced the public system there yet, but we do have people who have experienced the public system, and the quality is there. So for the emergency rooms, the public system emergency rooms don't seem to be as efficient in all of the hospitals as they should be. But
In Portugal.
in Portugal,
Right.
yeah, but for planned things, surgeries and things like that, I've heard rave reviews.
Well,
So,
I had to go to the I had to go to the emergency twice. Well, I have an allergy to corn, which I had never heard of.
oh,
And so I had to go. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Okay, go directly to the emergency." So I went to the emergency, and I all I had to do is go to the hospital and say I need to see a doctor now. And I had to wait, but it's like maybe a half an hour.
okay.
And so the doctor pulled me in and said, "Oh, yeah, we need to do some tests." And so, but it was just so efficient. Now,
Yeah,
I'm not saying it works that way in every hospital,
right.
but that was my perception,
Mhm.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
experience.
yeah. I've heard some good reviews with the emergency rooms and some bad reviews with the emergency rooms in Lisbon. So I think it depends on the area and the hospital.
Yeah,
So Pinky asked, did Leo get a degree in teaching or did he get a TEFL certificate or
both,
diploma to teach?
both.
Okay. So did you had a degree in the States?
Yeah. And then I
You
got
didn't
a
have,
couple.
and then you got a TEFL. Okay. So what is the demand for English teachers like there, here?
You know what? There's a big demand for English teachers because they want native speakers.
Hmm.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So English is still a commodity, y'all,
Well,
today.
it's especially here because with all the international businesses, and
Right.
English it's an
The
international
language of
language.
business, of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, as a matter of fact, most of the places that we've been to, they speak English.
Right.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean the grocery stores and stuff. Yeah, they'll switch.
Really?
They'll hear us and they'll switch.
Okay.
Um, but I still try to say what I say in French. Like, may I have this or this? I try.
I did that
Yeah.
at the restaurant the other day.
How'd that work out?
I said, merci.
Oh, you said thank you.
And I said, well, I don't know any French and I speak English. And she looked at me, she said, well, I'll speak English to you. And she spoke English. I said, thank you so much.
We're pitiful. We really should have gotten some phrases. And I took French for 7 years, Leo. For 7 years. I can hear it. It's starting to come back a little bit, but shoot.
Yeah.
Um, so is the caste system alive and thriving there?
I don't
Hmm.
understand.
Caste system. No, yeah, I
What is,
think so. Caste system would be like the aristocracy
oh,
and then the unwashed.
you mean
I know this like they have in
Like in
India.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, no. The reality is here we do have a strong middle class. And there are some wealthy people, and there are some poor people, but we have a strong middle class here. And you don't see people living on the streets like in the
Not for,
States.
yeah, not for the most part, not at the same level. But we were talking to, not but, and we were talking to a lady last night at the restaurant, and she is Honduran.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she's Honduran. And then her partner, husband, friend um, was European,
Right.
right? I don't know from where. I couldn't get the accent. But she's like, yeah, here, I think she might have lived in America for a little bit, but she's like, here, I, with my job and this and that, I can afford to do this. I can afford to do that. I can afford to do this. I can afford to do that. And so, I'm not surprised to hear that there's a strong middle class here,
Yeah.
and something that is sadly missing from the United States. It's been shrinking since the 80s. Thank you, Reaganomics.
Yeah.
Um, have you heard about how single Black American women are treated there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about single because the women that I
Well,
know are married.
and and how would they know if you're single if you're walking down the street, right? So
Yeah.
so the ones that you know that are married, do they have any complaints?
No. Well, well, one thing, they don't know if you're American or Congolese. And the Congolese, and there are a lot of Congolese here, and they're treated there's always going to be some racism. That's that that's a granted.
That's global.
Yeah, that's global. But by and large, I feel as an American Black man, I don't know about a woman. I've never been a woman, but uh, but I feel safer here than in the States.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I have not seen CK any behavior that would let me believe that they're making people feel uncomfortable on a regular basis.
Yeah. No.
And you kind of, there are enough other brown skinned people, especially here in
Yeah.
Brussels,
Hmm.
that nobody paying attention. When
No.
we walked from our apartment all the way to where Dooley's is, and during the day, and the amount of Black folks that we saw on our walk from
Mhm.
here to there,
Yeah.
right? It was like, you know, non-black, non-black, black, black, non-black, 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 black, black, non-black. I mean,
Yeah. Hmm.
there's a lot. There's
It's,
lots, and then there's other
there's a
folks
huge
too.
mix. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
huge mix
Really.
here.
Yeah, and other folks too, Southeast Asians and this and that,
Oh yeah, North
But
Africa.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, you kind of nobody paying attention. Nobody's
No
paying
one pays
attention.
attention.
If it were, I if we're of the, I guess if I were of the mindset to boycott winter, how many months in the year would I actually reside in Belgium?
Two.
Yikes, that's a hard one. Um, let's see. Usually end of May, June, July, uh, August. Yeah, those are good.
I mean,
Uh,
September hasn't been bad
no.
since we've been here anyway, and we've got another week to go. Um,
Mhm.
uh, but again, we're spoiled in Lisbon.
Yeah,
We're spoiled.
you're you're not used to this here. Now, here, like I say, summer can be really rainy too.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, there was like maybe 5 summers ago we had, horrible rain and flooding,
Oh
and the
wow.
farmers lost their crops, and a lot of animals
Oh
died,
wow.
and yeah, because of all the flooding, the cows and everything, and cars were completely underwater.
Oh my.
Yeah, and this in the southern part of Belgium, and also in Flanders too. So there was a
Okay.
lot of flooding here in the summertime. So yeah, it depends.
Yeah. Yeah. And was it warm rain or cold rain? See, that's the thing. Like I
It
can
was
walk in warm rain, but cold rain.
well, it was warm, but it was like downpour. It was
Yeah.
Right.
horrible.
Oh, it was
Yeah, it was just
torrential.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I live on a slope, so that it looked like a river coming down the street.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Back to cost of living. I don't know if you mind saying how much you pay for rent, and I have no idea. The place that we're staying in, we're house sitting, y'all. So we get basically free digs while we're
Hey,
here.
nice,
Otherwise,
nice.
we would not be here. Um, so do you know what the average cost of an apartment is, or do you mind sharing how much you pay?
Well, the average cost of an apartment, it depends on where you are, of course.
Right.
I paid like 750,
Okay.
you know,
Is it one bedroom
yeah,
or two or
one
what?
bedroom,
One
one
bedroom.
bedroom,
Okay. Okay, that's not
which is
bad.
good, which is really good for Brussels.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
really good.
you got a steal.
I got a deal. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
but
You'd be hard pressed to find an apartment for that price in Lisbon.
yeah, well, I was hard pressed to find it here, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
So then that means like the average one bedroom is what, like 1,000?
Oh, easily,
Okay.
easily, easily. And again, it depends on the neighborhood. My As I said, my neighborhood is very Turkish Moroccan, so it's not the high class neighbor. I hate to say it that way, but it's not like
It,
the
with a plethora of high income earners.
yeah, exactly. So
So
but I like it here.
yeah, it's a normal people neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a normal people neighborhood. You know, and I have no idea. We're in a brand spanking new building, but across the
Yeah,
street are
Yeah, there are
old.
older buildings and stuff like that.
They're
But
all
then
old.
down by the park where you were saying it's got to be where rich people live, I don't think so.
Which park?
Down there where the lake is or where the water fountains and stuff were, and you were like, oh, there's a lake here, but it wasn't really a lake. It's more of a right down the street.
I mean, there's lots of parks. I'm not sure.
Flagey.
The first one we went to.
Is it
It
Flagey?
is.
Oh, I
Flagey?
know. Oh no, yeah, no. It's the one that way. So okay, so
Not the
Avenida
huge park.
Louise. Yeah, yeah, Avenida Louise, and then you go. Which way is that? Let me look at my watch.
I want to say east, but I'm so turned around.
Yeah,
Actually, I took a picture of the.
I think you go east of Avenida Louise, and so we were walking, and the streets are they're blocked off, and there's a park that goes down the middle, and it looked like a lot of like embassy houses, ambassador houses, and things
It's
Oh
like
yeah.
with
that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Valle de.
De la Cambre,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah,
Beautiful.
no, that looked like a rich people neighborhood. No,
Oh
it
yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
Because those were like
Oh yeah.
single family homes and they were like 3 stories.
Oh
There was
yeah.
only one door, one address.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so so yeah, in the middle of the city, and then you're right across the street from this the park. It's got a little
Huge
lake in
park.
the middle. It's in the middle of the road though. Unlike the
Yeah.
one that's that way, which is this huge with a lot of natural and like woods with
Uh-huh.
pathways going through it and some manicured. This one's a smaller park, but beautiful with a little man-made lake type thingy in the middle.
Yeah.
So
There's
yeah,
a there are a lot of green space here.
a lot of
Yes.
green space, a lot of green space. They have beautiful parks here.
Yeah.
It looks like the scooters Leo mentioned, they're everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
Um, Doctors Farm, et cetera, don't promote wellness. Not anymore. They want you sick on a scooter eating processed foods and taking their meds and feeding that corporate machine. It's
Yep,
That's
sad.
it
depressing.
is sad.
It's sad. I mean, it does not have to be this way.
No.
It does not have to
It
be this
doesn't.
way. But
But
we've
but
just allowed it.
but the thing is, people don't leave the US and see anything different. So they accept it.
Right. Yeah.
That's so interesting that you're saying that, because Rick and I were talking the other day, and I said, they should make it mandatory for high school students to do an exchange
To get
program.
out of the country. Yeah.
We would have a totally different, heck, we might still be living in the United States had they started making kids, like maybe even as far back as the 70s,
Right.
do an exchange program and see that, okay, first of all, the world does not revolve around the United States.
I know about it.
Economically and politically, it kind of does. But people wise, people ain't thinking about you. They couldn't care
No.
less about you. Maybe the music, maybe a movie, but that's it. They're not thinking about you. And this perception that every place else is worse, every place else is more dangerous, right?
What I hate is when they say America's the greatest country in the world. And I think, and where have you been?
Right. Exactly.
Tell
Compared
me,
to
where have you
what?
been? Yeah.
Compared to what? I, you know, I, yeah, I think we would have a much different country if kids in public schools were compelled, if it was compulsory to do an exchange program.
Yeah. I think so too. And I find it kind of embarrassing in a lot of ways when I see how Americans view Europe. For example, when we have American people visiting here, and they're tourists, and they expect everyone to speak English. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but it's like, can't you just try?
Try.
Can't or can you, at least when you don't speak the language, can you adapt? Because I can look at an American, I can say that's an American, you know, because I can
Yeah.
hear it, and then it's the presence, and Americans are very direct.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, very direct. They ask you, "What do you do?" Where are
Oh
you
Yeah.
from? Blah, blah, blah. And here, that you would not do that. I wouldn't
yeah.
go and say, "Oh, where are you from?" No, 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 no.
Yeah. 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 That's interesting. Because last night when we were sitting at the restaurant, I did ask the young lady, but she started talking to me first, especially about the fried. Did I enjoy the fried chicken? Because she had had it too. So it started with that, and then she asked me some politics stuff. Now, come on,
Oh yeah. Mm.
that was it. That was it. And we started talking, and we were all on the same side. So we're just, reinforcing each other's opinions about things. But and so I asked her, I said, "Are you American?" And she said she was from Honduras. I was like, "Okay, so that's yes, but just not from the United States."
Yeah,
Americans forget that America is not just the only
absolutely.
America, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I said, New Zealand is the only other country that allows drug companies to market directly to consumers.
Oh my.
See
Wow.
there? So two out of how many countries are there in the world? I have no idea. I have no idea. But who was it? Oh, Jill Stein, who didn't know how many members. She's running for president. She doesn't know how many members in Congress.
Mm. Keep the day job.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Right? What are you doing, woman? Like you no. No. Did you have to leave the country, everyone? Wait, did you have to leave the country, everyone you applied for a visa? Did you speak the local language for extended visas and citizenship? Okay, so we answered the question about citizenship. Did you start the application process to get your card as a spouse? Did you have to start that in the United States, or is it just as a spouse? Was it all done here?
I had to send all the documents
Okay,
from the
okay.
United States. Yeah.
And CK, this was 19 years ago, baby.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
God only knows, what
yeah.
it's like today. If
Yeah.
you're really interested, I think you should probably do your Googles on the specifics for today.
You should.
Um,
And and you should, look up the what Belgium requires
Mhm.
yeah,
to see if you can do it.
yeah,
Because I think in Portugal there's a financial thing. If you have so much money, you
Right.
can uh, get a visa. Now I
yeah,
don't know if Belgium does it. I don't know, but
yeah.
you know,
Most countries have some kind of passive income visa,
yeah,
except for the United States.
yeah,
They don't want anybody. They just, not that way. And then they wonder why there's so many undocumented folks. It's like, because you need folks to work in these places and pick these apples,
yeah,
right? But you don't want to
yeah,
document them. We used to
yeah.
have work exchanges.
Exactly.
Remember that? Remember work
Uh-huh.
exchanges back in the day? And, they could come, they got a work visa, they come, they still would be
Mhm.
living in Mexico half the time, and they come, they do the work, get the money, and go home.
And you know what? And then when people say these people are coming and taking our jobs, I think, do you want to pick apples?
Yeah. Ain't
I mean,
nobody wanting them jobs.
No, they're taking black jobs. they're,
right.
they're taking black jobs.
Like being president of the United States of America.
What aspects of Belgian culture have you embraced or found particularly interesting about life there? What advice would you give Black Americans considering moving to Belgium? Karen Louise always comes with the on point questions.
Well, the thing I like about the culture of Belgium is Belgium Belgians don't take themselves very seriously.
Hmm.
I mean,
N-
I mean,
Not if
we're
they've
the
got a pissing boy as one of their icons.
exactly, exactly. I mean, we're the younger brother of France and the younger sister of the Netherlands. We're just kind of like we just we don't take ourselves very seriously. So it's very casual country, actually. I
Yeah.
like that. And I like
Yeah.
that people here are diverse and embrace that diversity. They're open-minded. We had a prime minister openly gay, you know, uh, prime minister like
Wow.
president. Yeah, yeah. And try that in the States. Uh,
Right. Now here is the prime minister elected by the public or selected by parliament?
yeah, yeah. This is going to be a long discussion. Belgian politics, Belgian politics are so bizarre. Yeah, so we have different parties. We have many different parties, and
Right.
then two parties form a coalition, and then they elect the person who's going to be
The
the
prime
prime minister.
minister. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So it seems like that's how it works when you have like a parliament as
yeah,
opposed to a
that's
Senate
what
and
it is.
Congress.
That's
Mm.
what it
Yeah,
is.
and then like in Lisbon we have a president that
Okay.
is on the ballot, and then we have also a prime
Prime
minister.
Minister,
Mm.
So I don't know who does what. I don't know.
whom our Prime
Yeah, it's tough.
Minister, our past Prime Minister now works for the EU here in.
Yeah, he works for
Okay.
the
Oh
EU
yeah, of
here.
course,
It,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They all do.
Yeah. And well,
And,
he
and
had to
what?
step down because of controversy.
Ooh,
And yeah, but then,
Come to
okay,
find out,
come to find out he was totally
he
innocent.
was innocent.
But I didn't find that out until we found out that he was working here. I'm like, how did they hire him if he had his hand in the till?
Yeah, he was
No.
totally innocent.
So one of the, I think is probably that Shega party,
mm,
which is the far right wing, put it out
yeah.
there and just dangled
Okay.
it out there. So then everything became about that. And
Okay.
then when they finally found out that he was innocent, how come we didn't hear about that? Like we heard about the fact that he might be guilty.
Yeah,
You see how they do?
because he
Yeah.
immediately stepped down
He immediately
because
stepped
he didn't he
down.
Oh,
didn't want the tarnishment on the office or anything like that.
Exactly. And
wow.
come to find out he was
He
innocent.
was
So,
innocent. Yeah.
unlike 45, who's got 34
Ooh,
counts.
yeah.
So,
I gotta sleep tonight, so I don't want to think about that.
so yeah, it's a weird feeling. It really is. So yeah, so he's working here, and I thought that was really interesting that he put the wellness of the country above his own
Yes,
ego,
absolutely.
right?
Unlike someone
Knowing
else I know.
exactly, he knew he was innocent. He knew
Mhm.
he was innocent, so he could have just said, "No, I ain't going nowhere. Shoot, prove it," and they
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to. So, and then she asks, "What advice do you give Black Americans considering moving to Belgium?"
I would say just at first I would say come and visit.
Hmm.
Come and spend some time to see if you like if to see if you like the climate. I mean, yeah, yeah. Now, I like it here. I like the food, and I think, there are a lot of Africans here. So, I mean, which helps a lot. But it's an open place. I don't think you would have any problem fitting in. I don't. Um, but then I like the food. I like
Yeah.
moufri. I know you don't.
No, is that
Mussels,
fish? Yeah, yeah.
mussels.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I have to say the food is tasty. The food is tasty. And Rick thinks the burger joint that we went to, well, we got caught in the rain. So we ran to the park and they had one of those big kiosky, the
Uh-huh,
kiosky things here are huge compared to the ones in Portugal because the parks are huge compared to the parks in
uh-huh,
Portugal or in Lisbon anyway. And because they had like 40 tables out there and
yeah,
under tarps,
uh-huh.
so we could escape the rain. It's like, okay. So we ended up there and got a burger, which was very good, too good. But you think the owner was black.
I do.
Yeah, so there was a black guy, and he
Yeah,
didn't seem to
yeah,
be working. He was leaning back while everybody else was running around. So yeah, I would say with anything, Karen Louise, we got to keep an open mind and try not to bring our baggage with us, or
yeah,
realize that we
absolutely.
have it and
Yeah.
not assume that somebody's behavior is the reason is racist, right?
Well, you know what another thing I realized when I was in the States, I would go in the store, and of course someone's gonna follow me to see if I'm stealing something,
That
you
right
know?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here, so I was it was a few days ago. So I had my backpack, and so I said, I opened my backpack and I just to show them, and she said, "I don't care. You know, get out, go." It's like, okay, fine. They
Yeah, I
weren't
don't
telling
even
me.
do that anymore.
Yeah. No.
I don't even do it anymore.
I walk in the store with bags and
Yeah,
and quiet as kept, be putting groceries in the bag,
In the grocery bag that
in
we
the
bring,
grocery bag.
as
And when you
opposed
get
to
up to the front, you put them
yeah,
out. They're not
yeah.
worried. They're not sweating you. They're not
No,
worried about you.
because I go to the same stores every time, so they know me. They talk to me.
They
They say,
know
"Oh
you.
yeah, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, go. You're fine,
yeah.
good, go." You know.
And that's another thing. There are so many grocery stores in every neighborhood, and they're smaller
Mhm.
stores,
Yeah,
y'all. So
yeah.
they really do get to know you.
They know you.
They do know you, and they will talk to you about the weather, about everything, and which is
Mhm.
nice. I just chit chat, make banter, and you know, and it's kind of cool. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I love it. So with dual citizenship, you get to vote in both countries?
I always vote in the U.S. citizen and for the U in the U.S. Now, in Belgium, you're required to vote.
Wow, it's
Okay.
compulsory. I've been using that word a lot
Compulsory.
tonight, but see, I
Wow.
wish
Didn't.
I wish it were like that in the States.
Yeah, it's compulsory,
Wow.
and the reason is because they don't want the right wing to be in power. So
And
yeah,
that's why they're trying to stop voting in the
In
United
the United
States.
States.
yeah,
They
yeah,
know, it's interesting that it works, that it's that way everywhere.
yeah.
The more people vote, the more progressive the government.
Yeah.
And we
It's
never, I like the fact that you've got all of these different parties. And if one party even wins enough that they get at least one or two voices in parliament. I think that diversity of voices is always a good
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I vote right across the street, so I have no excuse for not voting. There's a school
So
across
now
the street.
what happens if a person doesn't vote? Do they get fined?
Yes. Now, officially, you get fined €200.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's kind of ouchy.
I'd be voting.
Yeah, that's not like 20.
No, 200. Now, that's only if what happens is when you go to vote, you take your ID card and you show them your ID card and they cross your name off the list
Hmm.
and then you vote. The ones that are not crossed off, they can be found out and then they can get a fine. Now,
Ooh,
they don't always get fines, but they sometimes do.
okay.
And do they have early voting?
No,
Well,
no.
what if you're in the hospital?
If you're in the hospital, then you can be excused. And you can also get someone to vote for you.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go to the commune and have sign a paper saying that this person is going to vote for me, and then they can vote for you. Now, I was in the States once and I missed a vote. Now, I didn't get a fine, but if I had, I would have shown them my
That you
travel
were gone. Right.
and I was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get a fine.
Okay.
So they need to have, they really, so is vote day a holiday?
No, it's on a Sunday.
It's a, oh, okay.
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 It's on
But
a
still,
Sunday.
if you work in a grocery store, but the big grocery stores weren't open. The little grocery stores were open today. And
Yeah.
so that makes it easier for most people to vote, but they need to do early voting. They need to do early voting.
Yeah, but yeah,
because
we don't have early voting, and voting can take some time because so many people are voting.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's voting. That's who's voting. Who's voting? Everybody. Except for the people in the hospital, the people who happen to be out of town or on some family
Yeah,
emergency.
absolutely.
Everybody's
Yeah,
voting. So
and you have to.
yes,
Yeah. Uh,
they
I
need to extend that more than one day. I wouldn't want to wait in line.
no, I was in line for 2 hours.
Yes, no, no. We have 100% mail-in ballots in Colorado.
Oh yeah, and,
So
Oregon too. Oregon too.
oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So we get them and we can drop them in the mail or we can drop it off at a drop box. And I usually drop it at a drop box because I'm not having my stuff get lost in the mail or anything else. Hi guys, Halisi, can you repost your link on obtaining a Mexican residence
Residency
visa?
Gracias.
So yeah, it's Sonia Diaz is who we used, Mr. P Man,
Four
um,
seven four.
Fo Sempo. It's Sonia Diaz, Soniadiaz. If you Google her, say Sonia Diaz, Mexico, she'll come up. She will come up. We also did a video on how to get residency both in Mexico and in Portugal because we got ours at the same. We're doing them both at the same time.
Wow.
So yeah, because I'm crazy like that. So you can. The information is below that video as well. But it's Sonia Diaz, Soniadiaz in Mexico, and she will come up. She works out of San Miguel de Allende and Puerto Vallarta. And then last question,
Yakota.
I don't know why you asking because you moving to Portugal, Yakota. You,
Maybe Peter wants
it's
to
you
move.
and Peter, huh?
Maybe Peter wants to move to Belgium.
Well, no. We've already claimed them. They're already part of the crew. Is the LGBTQ community welcoming of Afro-Black Americans and intergacial. I've never heard that before. Intergacial relationships. So yeah, we kind of already answered this, Dakota. You might have been late,
Yeah.
but why don't we repeat it? Because this is important. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Leo. We get some comments some ugly comments from Black Americans in our when we especially when we do best city videos, and we always include a LGBTQ score. Because that's measured a lot of times more than racial tolerance or acceptance. And so that gives me a clue about how accepting they are of a minority group. And so I want to know. And we get so much flack, and it's just, and so it's no surprise to me that you feel more comfortable here, and even
Absolutely.
amongst folks who look like us, because we have been miseducated for the past 70 years in the church,
Absolutely.
just miseducated for political purposes. And that's what
Yeah.
Christians don't realize in America,
Right.
is that that's all
Absolutely.
politics. That has nothing to do with being biblically correct, because it's not.
Right.
It is
It's not.
not. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how free did you feel in America as a gay Black man? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how free do you feel here?
Ooh, you're talking like 10, almost 20 years ago. Uh,
But you go back.
well, I go back, but it's like for 2 weeks. Uh,
That's it, I'm out.
I'm who I'm who I am, so I feel comfortable anywhere. When I go back to the States, I'm going to be who I am. They don't like it. They don't like it. My problem or their problem. And here, it's like it's not even an issue. I mean, it's not even an issue. I mean, when I said the prime minister was openly gay, I mean, and as you know, and there are a lot of interracial couples here, straight and
Mhm,
gay.
mhm,
There are
mhm.
a lot of Congolese and whites are in relationship in both straight and gay world.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's there's a more mix here. And I think you'll find that if you look around here, you'll see people together much more mixed than what I remember in the States. Now,
Yeah.
I had a lot of Black friends, and I had a lot of white friends too. But my Black friends, we were together together. But it's not here. They're Blacks mixed or set together, but they're mixed all together with whites and mix, Moroccans and, Algerians and Turkish. It's a mix.
Yeah, I see a lot more of that in Lisbon than we did in the States as well,
Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
especially amongst those from the African diaspora. I'm just going to put it
Yeah.
that way, and those and Europeans.
Yeah.
Um, the Southeast Asians, I think, are more recent arrivals to Portugal, so they're not as integrated. They're integrated into the neighborhood and the economy, but
Mhm.
I see the kids hanging out together,
Yeah.
because school, right?
Yeah,
But
of
as
course.
far as adults go, I don't see that as much yet, right? And I think it's going to take another generation or so for them.
It takes time.
But it does take time. It
Mhm.
does take time, and they don't speak the language as well.
Mhm.
And so, and it's like that. It's probably like that everywhere. It takes a generation or so until you really, really, especially if you're still learning the language. So, thank you, Leo, so much. We have
Yes.
been on for an hour and
Oh.
45 minutes. And did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
It goes fast, right?
It does go
So,
fast.
it does. It does. Y'all, if you find information like this interesting, support the channel, right? One way that you can support the channel is by hitting that like button right now. Hit that like button. And share this information with a friend. Hit the share button, send it to a friend, send it to someone else, because there is a big wide world out there. And
Absolutely.
we need to be, especially those of us who have that blue passport, or the British passport, they're still strong. And we need to be taking advantages
Take advantage of
of
it.
all of the opportunities that there are out here, right?
It's a big
Yeah.
world.
It is a big world. And the way we think now, the way we see the world now, Leo, you know this. See, Michelle says the U.S. has been suppressing the vote forever. Yeah, I know. I know. The way we see the world here now is so different. Like when I think back on, now we've been traveling for a few decades, but you know, and when we traveled, we usually stayed in an Airbnb or something like that, right? Or a guest house back in the day. And so it's not like we were staying in hotels or staying on resorts and only experiencing that. We were staying in neighborhoods, but it's still different. Like you going back to the States
It's
for two
different.
weeks, right? And we always took 3-week vacations, but it's different. We were doing
It is
touristy
different.
stuff. Yes, we would walk to the grocery store and cook in the guest house or the Airbnb now and then. But once you're living someplace else, um, man, I we it's mind blowing, and I
It
can't
is.
even tell you all of the ways that I see the world so differently now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
those
gonna say one
things.
that's gonna
Yes,
say
please.
one thing. I When I go back to the States, people ask me where I'm from, of course. And yeah, and I say, well, I'm from Portland because I don't want to say I'm from Belgium. And I think about why is that? You know, I'm not ashamed of being from here, but people have this misconception of
Hmm.
Europe. To me, Belgium is home. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
But I can't explain that to an American who's never been here or who
Right.
has never been out of the
yeah,
country
right.
because to them the world is the United States.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I have to
Yeah.
s- so I have to speak their language.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't. Interestingly, like when we were on the tour, we did a walking tour of the old town,
But yeah,
and right, and we were there was a lot of Americans in the group,
huh?
some Canadians as well. And so before the tour started, everybody went around to say where they were from, and we did not say the states.
Uh-huh.
No.
You didn't.
So no, we said we're from
No. We say
Portugal.
Portugal.
Okay.
So and people were like, "Wait, what? What? What?"
Yeah.
And so they
Okay.
wanted to ask us questions and this and
Yeah.
that, and
Oh my God.
right. So you live there, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Why did you go to Portugal? Why did you leave the United States? You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
One guy he was actually from Wisconsin, Brussels, Wisconsin.
yeah.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Brussels, Wisconsin, and so he wanted to see Brussels, Belgium. But they were travelers.
Yeah, they're travelers.
I don't know if they were tourists or travelers, right? I don't, yeah,
Okay.
I didn't talk to them enough to know how they travel, like if they really try to understand the culture
Yeah.
I think
or
they were more tourists.
I think they were more tourists
No
too,
more
but
tourists. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So anyway, all right, y'all. If you need to get your money together, we told you Beyond the Bling is our financial freedom course for late bloomers. We have monthly group coaching or live Q&A that happens every month. That information is in the description below. I will be speaking at the Exodus Summit. And so that's Exodus Summit is for Black women who want to take a sabbatical or move abroad. And this year it's how to move abroad very, very quickly. Um, a link to that is in the description below. It is a 3-day event over Columbus Day weekend or Native American Day weekend. I don't know what they're calling it these days. I'm sorry if I'm not PC. But it's over that weekend. Exodus Summit is the reason why Rick and I do not live in the United States.
Mm.
So if you are a Black woman, you need to check out the Exodus Summit. If you want to move to Portugal, the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit is on sale now. That is the first weekend in November. And you can book a call with us. We do one-on-one consulting. That information is below as well. We love y'all. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe. We know that 50% of the people who watched are not subscribed. And
Share this
yes,
video.
and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time that we go live. We love you all, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye.
Hi.